Hello friends, hope you're doing great. This is the second video of the Blender for Beginner tutorial series, and here we're going to see the different navigations and manipulations of 3D objects that can be done in Blender. If you've not watched my first video, you can find a link to that in the cards above or from the description below. So without waiting, let's get started.
Here we are in Blender. The first thing that you should know when using any 3D software is how to navigate in the tool to view the 3D objects from different angles and move them around or scale or rotate the 3D objects. Once you're comfortable with this, then it will be really handy when you start to model any 3D objects. Having said that, in order to view the object in a freestyle way, you need to press and hold the middle mouse button and move the mouse. In case you don't have a middle mouse button, you need to select Alt key plus left mouse button, and that will act like a middle mouse button. For that, you need to make a change in your user preference settings, which I have explained in detail in my previous video. If you have to zoom in or zoom out, you just need to use the mouse scroll wheel. To pan the object, select the object by left clicking on it and use Shift plus middle mouse button. There are different perspectives to view the 3D object. This is very important when we model an object or a character from scratch. So you can go to the view menu, and there you can see different views like top, bottom, front, back, left, right, and you can select any of these to view the object from that particular angle. Or you can use shortcut keys mentioned in the menu, like numpad 1 for front view, 3 for right view, and so on. It's up to you and your comfort level whether to use shortcut key or the menu options. Okay, you'll notice one more thing called perspective or ortho view, and the shortcut for that will be num key 5. You can notice that when you switch to ortho mode, 3D objects will lose its depth and look more like a 2D object. Whereas in user perspective mode, it will look more like 3D object. Don't worry about that, we'll come back to that later. Now let's see how to move or grab any 3D object. You can select the object that you need to move by left clicking on it and just move your mouse. Simple as it is. But it is always a good practice to move the object constraining it to a particular axis. You can do that by clicking on the Use 3D Manipulator widget and selecting the arrow key right next to it if it's not already selected. Then you'll get a 3 axis like this. The red arrow denotes x-axis, green arrow denotes y-axis, and blue arrow denotes z-axis. You can select any of these, and if you move it, it will be constrained to the axis which you have selected. Like when I grab and move using the red arrow, my object moves only in x-axis. But there are chances that it may go wrong if you don't select the arrows properly. Don't worry about that, you have one more option, which is more reliable. You need to select the object by left clicking on it and then press G key, which means grabbing it, and then press X key, and now it will move the object only in x-axis. Same goes for y and z-axis. G plus Y will constrain it to y-axis, and G plus Z will constrain it to z-axis when you move the mouse. Cool. Now let's see how to rotate the object. With the object selected, click on the Transformation Manipulator Rotate, and now the arrows will turn into circles. The color for the axis remains the same, like red for x-axis, green for y, and blue for z. And by selecting those, you can move around. Or, as a more reliable option, you can select the object, then press R key, which means rotate, and then press X key when you have to rotate it only in the x-axis. Same goes with y and z-axis, like R plus Y for y-axis rotation and R plus Z for z-axis rotation. If you have to scale the object, which means either make it large or small, you can do so by clicking on the Transformation Manipulator Scale and follow the same process as we did for grab or rotate. Or you can select the object, then press S key for scale and then X key for constraining it to X-axis, or S plus Y for constraining it to Y axis, or S plus Z to constrain the scaling within the Z axis. Okay, now if you're trying to move the object from this position to another position like this, if I have to confirm the object in my new position, then I'll click on left mouse button, which will make the object move to the new position. In case now I'm trying to move the object to another position and then I feel I don't want it there, I will better have it in the same place where I had it before. Then instead of clicking the left mouse button, I'll be clicking on the right mouse button, and that will restore it to the original place where it was before. The same goes with rotation or scaling. If you have to confirm your rotation or scaling, press the left mouse button. If you have to revert it to the original state or the state where it was before, then just click on the right mouse button. Or by mistake you clicked on left mouse button and you wanted to get it back to the original state, what you can do, you can press Ctrl Z. But in case you have saved it and then Ctrl C doesn't work, then what you have to do, there is an option. Okay, now let's select the object, move it using the grab option by pressing G key, and let's rotate it by pressing the R key, and let's scale it by pressing the S key. Now if I have to revert what I did for scaling, I'll press Alt plus S. If I have to revert what I did for rotation, now I press Alt plus R. If I have to revert what I did for the grabbing, now I'll press Alt plus G. So we covered the basic navigations and manipulations that you need to know to start with, and we will learn more techniques as we progress down the line in this tutorial. I will end this part of the tutorial here and will continue further in my next Blender for Beginner tutorial series, and I would love to have you there as well.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and if you found it useful, share with your friends and subscribe to our channel as we have more videos coming related to photography, videography, CGI and VFX animations. See you again with another good content. Until then, bye.